Okay, so I'm not gonna waste any time. You know why you clicked on this video, you dirty little weeb you. Ever since you were a kid, you wanted to become the Hokage. Well, isn't this a funny coincidence, because I got a build just for you. Do you want to have access to invisibility, have your super up pretty much at all times, generate an obscene amount of orbs of power for your team, and of course to grapple everywhere while doing moonsaults and throwing your kunai around? Well, stay tuned, and I'll teach you my way of the ninja. But first, if you like Destiny build videos or any type of Destiny discussion videos as a whole, make sure you hit the like for the YouTube algorithm and sub to my channel. And I'll keep bringing you this fire! But without further ado, let's get right into this build. For this one, we'll be using the Hunter Strand Threadrunner. For the aspects, we have Ensnaring Slam. While you're in the air, you can use your air move button in order to slam down on the ground and suspend anything in your vicinity. Then we have Widow Silk. This will give you a second grenade charge and it will create a grapple tango point whenever you grapple. We'll be using the Marksman's Dodge for the lower cooldown, and on our grenade, we'll be using the grapple. This will actually be the center point of our build because of the grapple melee that you can execute while you're grappling towards something. For Fragments, we have Thread of Continuity, where all of our strand debuffs actually have an increased duration. Thread of Warding, picking up an Orb of Power, will grant us Woven Mail. Thread of Mind, where defeating suspended targets will grant us Class Ability Energy. And Thread of Generation, where dealing damage will grant us Grenade Energy. And during Season of Defiance, you actually really need 2 artifact mods. Untangler, where destroying a tangle with a strand weapon will suspend targets damaged by the explosion. And Threaded Blast, where destroying a tangle will create a bigger explosion. Are these a requirement? Does the build not work without them? Absolutely not. It will work just as well. These just enhance the build. And like never before, I'll actually give you gun recommendations as well. The important part is to make sure you have a strand weapon equipped. In my opinion, the best option would be the Immortal Submachine Gun with Hatchling and Surplus. Your special doesn't really matter, whatever you feel comfortable with. And for the heavy, we'll be running the Leviathan's Breath, just because it does, like, obscene amounts of damage. For the exotic, we're going to use Assassin's Cowl. Powered melee final blows grant invisibility and restore a portion of your health and shields. Finishers and final blows against more powerful targets increase the duration of the invisibility and the amount of health and shields restored. The absolute sexy part about this exotic is that it works with our grapple melee, because it does count as a powered melee. So anytime you kill something with your grapple melee, you'll get invisibility, you'll get some health back, and you just get more survivability in a sense. In legend content, pretty much any red bar will die from your powered melee, especially if you hit it with a couple of shots beforehand. What about seasonal content? They become an absolute joke. I haven't tried it in Master yet, but considering it's only 5 points difference between Master and Legendary, I don't think it will be that much of a difference. And the mods that we're about to cover will just elevate the build to incredible heights. On the helmet, we'll have Ashes to Assets and Hands On. Both of these will give us super energy whenever we get a powered melee final blow, and as we already covered, the grapple melee does count for that. Then you can put a Harmonic Siphon or anything else you can fit in. On the arms, we'll have a Grenade Kickstart, which will give us some grenade energy back every time we use our grenade, and then Firepower plus Heavy-Handed, because both of these will generate us an Orb of Power anytime we get a final blow with our grapple melee. That's 2 Orbs of Power for the price of 1. I love discounts. On the chest we get charged up in order to have more armor charges, and you can either double it or use the other slot you have available for a reserve perk. On the legs we have stacks on stacks. Every time you pick up an Orb of Power you get 2 stacks of armor charge. That means that every time you get a grapple melee final blow you get maxed out on your armor charges. Then we have double innervation, because that will replenish our grenade energy every time you pick up an Orb of Power. About now is when it should click for everybody that this is just an infinite ability spam build. And just to max this out to infinity, on our cloak we'll have Bomber twice and Utility Finisher equipped. Utility Finisher will replenish our dodge whenever we use a finisher, and then Bomber will just give us more grenade energy whenever we use our dodge. So in the unlikely scenario where you find yourself without the ability energy for something, you can just dodge or you can finish something and you get your ability energy back. And don't forget, finishers do actually make us invisible and give us some health back, so win-win? Alright, so it's time to explain the gameplay loop. I'm not sure if you remember, but Bungie said they want Strand to be basically the high APM subclass, and this build pretty much personifies this. Open up your engagements with a couple of shots in, just to make sure that you can use your grapple melee to finish anything. Then equip the biggest set of bows you got and jump into the fray with your Ensnaring Slam. This will suspend a metric ton of enemies around you, and it will pretty much give you free kills from here on. Get a kill with your grapple melee. If you have a couple of enemies suspended, most likely you'll kill a bunch of them, which will give you a lot of super energy. This of course will turn you invisible, allowing you to get into a very favorable position for your next engagement. You got a champion barreling towards you? Who cares, you probably already have your dodge back. You don't already have your dodge back? Who cares, you have Leviathan's Breath. You're out of ammo? Well, you can shoot a red bar a couple of times, finish it, get some more invis, and that will give you your dodge back. Because of all the mods we have equipped, the grenade will be up pretty much constantly, and that's no lie. No cap, put it on God, dead ass. So you just need to psycho your grapple melee amongst all the enemies that you have in a room until all of them are dead. The beautiful part about all of this is that after killing a couple of groups of red bars, you have your entire super up, and your super can just smelt any champion against you. You have an anti-barrier coming to you? Who cares? Just suspend it and kill it with the super. You'll get your next one in a couple of minutes anyway. I honestly believe this build is pretty much just a huge meme, kind of like my life. There won't be any time where you'll find yourself without any abilities, you know, except your melee, because we don't have anything that replenishes that, but it's also the weakest part of our kit, so we don't really care. If you ever find yourself in a tough situation, you just need to shoot a red bar a couple of times, then get a finisher on it, and you have the invisibility you want, which will keep you alive. Your super is ridiculous. Leviathan's breath is actually insane, especially if you have the catalyst. Working on that, by the way. Every time you get a grapple melee final blow, you will get invis too. And let's not forget how much you can meme on champions with that suspend effect. The only real hold this build has is that you do need to get into the thick of things in order to get your invis going. So just put on your biggest set of cojones and you will be fine. Oh yeah, you also have woven mail. You know, if you needed any more reasons to play this build. Honestly, this is so dumb, I'm probably going to run my next solo dungeon with this build. If you ever wanted to turn yourself into a ninja or become an edgelord meme, this is the build for you. And that's pretty much all I can say about this build, family. I hope you really like it. If you enjoyed my video, make sure you hit the like. And if you really like Destiny content, make sure you sub to my channel. I upload as often as I can, at least once a week, but it's going to turn out to be a lot more most of the times. But thanks a lot for your time. If you want to see another build video, make sure you watch my Warlock build, which will show at the end screen. Eyes up, Guardian, stay wavy, and I'll see you in the next one.